Maine. The name evokes images of rugged coastlines, towering pines, and lobster boats bobbing on the Atlantic. These iconic scenes are just the beginning of what Maine has to offer. Maine is the northernmost state in New England, a region known for its distinct seasons and picturesque landscapes. It is larger than the other 5 New England states combined, making it a vast expanse of wilderness and natural beauty. Maine borders New Hampshire to the west, sharing a landscape of rolling hills and dense forests. To the north and east, it shares a border with Canada, creating a blend of cultures and influences that enrich the state. The vast Atlantic Ocean defines its eastern and southern edges, providing a stunning backdrop for coastal towns and maritime activities. Maine is a place of immense natural beauty, from its rugged coastlines to its dense forests and serene lakes. It is a place rich in history, with landmarks that tell the story of its past. Maine is a place of independent spirit where the people have a strong sense of identity and pride in their heritage. Maine's geography has shaped its identity, influencing everything from its economy to its culture. The long coastline fostered a strong maritime tradition, with lighthouses standing as beacons of safety and history. The dense forest provided resources for shipbuilding and timber industries, which were crucial to the state's development. The rocky soil encouraged self-reliance and a strong work ethic, traits that are still evident in the people of Maine today. Maine's people are closely connected to the land and sea, whether through fishing, farming, or forestry. This connection is deeply woven into the state's character, influencing its traditions, cuisine, and way of life. From its early days as a frontier outpost, Maine has played a pivotal role in American history, serving as a gateway to the north. It was a battleground during the Revolutionary War, with its people fighting bravely for independence. Maine was a center of abolitionism, with many of its residents taking a stand against slavery and fighting for freedom. Its industries and resources have contributed to the nation's growth, from shipbuilding to paper production and beyond. Today, Maine continues to evolve, balancing its rich heritage with modern advancements and a progressive outlook. It carefully balances its rich heritage with a forward-looking perspective, ensuring that it remains a beacon in New England for generations to come. Long before the arrival of Europeans, Maine was home to the Wabanaki people. These indigenous people have a rich history that dates back thousands of years, long before the first European settlers set foot on this land. For over 10,000 years, they thrived in this land. Their presence is deeply woven into the fabric of Maine's history, leaving behind a legacy that continues to influence the region today. They were skilled hunters, fishers, and gatherers. The Wabanaki people relied on the abundant natural resources around them, mastering the art of hunting game, fishing in the rivers and oceans, and gathering edible plants and herbs. The Wabanaki lived in harmony with the natural world. They understood the delicate balance of their environment and worked to maintain it, ensuring that their way of life could be sustained for generations. They possessed a deep understanding of its rhythms and resources. This knowledge was passed down through generations, allowing them to thrive in a land that could be both bountiful and harsh. The name Wabanaki means people of the Dawn Land. This name reflects their deep spiritual connection to the east, where the sun rises, symbolizing new beginnings and the light of knowledge. It reflects their connection to the east, where the sun rises. The dawn was a sacred time for the Wabanaki, representing hope, renewal, and the promise of a new day. The Wabanaki were not a single tribe but a confederacy of 5 distinct nations. This confederacy allowed them to unite for mutual benefit, sharing resources, knowledge, and support. These nations were the Mi'kmaq, Malisate, Passamaquoddy, Penobscot, and Abenaki. Each of these nations had its own unique identity, yet they were bound together by common goals and shared values. Each nation had its own territory and traditions. These territories were carefully managed to ensure that the natural resources were used sustainably, and their traditions were rich with cultural significance. However, they were united by a shared language and culture. This common language facilitated communication and trade among the nations, while their shared cultural practices strengthened their bonds. They also shared a commitment to protecting their homeland. The Wabanaki people understood the importance of preserving their environment, not just for themselves, but for future generations. The Wabanaki developed sophisticated systems of governance and trade. Their political structures were designed to ensure fairness and cooperation, while their trade networks extended far beyond their own territories. They created intricate birch bark canoes for transportation and fishing. These canoes were not only practical, but also beautifully crafted, showcasing their skill and artistry. Their artistry was reflected in their beadwork, basketry, and carvings. Each piece of art told a story, representing their beliefs, values, and connection to the land. The Wabanaki passed down their knowledge and traditions through storytelling and oral histories. These stories were more than just entertainment. They were a vital means of preserving their history and educating the young. These stories kept their history alive. Through them, the Wabanaki could remember their ancestors, celebrate their achievements, and learn from their experiences. They also taught essential skills and values. The lessons embedded in their stories helped to instill a sense of identity, responsibility, and respect for the natural world. The Wabanaki legacy continues to shape Maine's cultural landscape. Their influence can be seen in the state's place names, traditions, and the ongoing efforts to preserve their heritage and protect the environment. The arrival of Europeans in the 16th century dramatically altered the course of Maine's history forever. French and English explorers sought to exploit the region's abundant natural resources. The French, led by Samuel de Champlain, established a settlement on an island near the mouth of the Kennebec River in 1604. They named this new settlement St. Croix Island. This marked the beginning of a long and complex relationship between Europeans and the Wabanaki people. English settlers, primarily from Massachusetts, began arriving in the early 17th century. They established fishing villages and trading posts along the rugged coast. Competition for land and resources inevitably led to conflict between the French and English. The Wabanaki were caught in the middle of this struggle. They formed alliances with both sides at different times, navigating the turbulent waters. The struggle for control of Maine continued for over a century. Treaties were signed and broken repeatedly. Battles were fought between the European powers and their Native American allies. The Wabanaki, facing displacement and disease, fought to preserve their way of life and culture. Maine became a battleground in a larger geopolitical struggle. The outcome of these conflicts would shape the future of North America. Section 4. Revolution and Resilience. Forging a New Nation. By the mid-18th century, tensions between Great Britain and its American colonies were reaching a boiling point. Maine, still a part of Massachusetts, found itself caught in the crosshairs of revolution. The citizens of Maine, with their strong sense of independence and self-reliance, embraced the cause of liberty. The outbreak of the American Revolutionary War in 1775 brought conflict to Maine's shores. The Penobscot Expedition, a disastrous attempt by colonial forces to capture a British fort in Castine, demonstrated the complexities of naval warfare. Despite setbacks, Maine's contributions to the Revolutionary War were significant. Following the war, Maine experienced a period of growth and prosperity. Shipbuilding flourished and timber production soared. The state's population grew rapidly. New towns and industries emerged. However, Maine's relationship with Great Britain remained strained. This tension would erupt once again during the War of 1812. Maine became a target of British attacks. This conflict solidified Maine's identity as a distinct entity. It fueled the desire for statehood. Section 5. The Pine Tree State, Embracing Independence. For decades, Maine had chafed under the rule of Massachusetts. The people of Maine felt their unique needs and desires were often overlooked by the distant government in Boston. This sense of neglect and frustration only grew stronger over time. The desire for self-governance grew stronger with each passing year. Town meetings became hotbeds of discussion and debate, with local leaders and citizens alike voicing their aspirations for independence. The spirit of self-determination was palpable, and it was clear that Maine's people were ready to take control of their own destiny. The War of 1812, while divisive, ultimately served as a catalyst for Maine's separation from Massachusetts. The conflict highlighted the distinct needs and challenges faced by Maine, further fueling the desire for independence. The war's impact on the region underscored the importance of having a government that truly understood and represented its people. In 1820, after years of debate and negotiation, Maine was finally granted statehood. This monumental achievement was the result of tireless efforts by Maine's leaders and citizens, who had long advocated for their right to self-governance. The journey to statehood was marked by perseverance and unwavering determination. It became the 23rd state in the Union. This new status brought with it a sense of pride and accomplishment as Maine's people celebrated their hard-won independence. The admission to the Union was not just a political victory, but a validation of Maine's unique identity and aspirations. The date, March 15, 1820, marked a turning point in Maine's history. It was a day of jubilation with parades, speeches, and celebrations taking place across the state. The sense of unity and shared purpose was evident as Maine citizens came together to mark this historic occasion. It was a moment of immense pride and celebration. The people of Maine had achieved what many thought impossible, and their joy was reflected in the festivities that took place. This newfound independence was a testament to their resilience and determination. Maine's statehood was the culmination of a long and arduous journey. The path to independence was fraught with challenges, but the people of Maine never wavered in their resolve. Their struggle and eventual triumph became a defining chapter in the state's history. It was a testament to the resilience, determination, and independent spirit of its people. These qualities had been the driving force behind Maine's quest for statehood, and they continued to shape the state's identity in the years that followed. With statehood came new opportunities and challenges. Maine's leaders and citizens were eager to build a future that reflected their values and aspirations. The state's evolving landscape mirrored the changes taking place within its communities, as new industries and infrastructure began to take root. Maine was eager to forge its own path as a sovereign state within the growing nation. This newfound autonomy allowed Maine to address its unique needs and priorities, fostering a sense of empowerment and self-reliance among its people. The Pine Tree State, as Maine became known, embarked on a period of growth and transformation. The state's natural resources, including its vast forests and fertile fishing grounds, played a crucial role in this development. Industries such as shipbuilding, lumber, and fishing flourished, driving economic growth and attracting new settlers. Its industries flourished, and its population grew steadily. Towns and cities expanded, and new communities were established, each contributing to the state's vibrant and diverse character. The influx of people brought new ideas and opportunities, further enriching Maine's cultural and economic landscape. Maine's natural resources, from its vast forests to its fertile fishing grounds, fueled its economy and shaped its identity. These resources not only provided the foundation for economic growth, but also became a source of pride for the state's residents. The sustainable management of these resources ensured that future generations could continue to benefit from Maine's natural bounty. Maine's commitment to education and its tradition of civic engagement helped to create a vibrant and enduring democracy. Schools and institutions of higher learning flourished, fostering a culture of knowledge and innovation. Civic participation was encouraged, with citizens actively involved in shaping the policies and direction of their state. This strong foundation of education and civic responsibility ensured that Maine would continue to thrive as a beacon of independence and progress.